Chapter 16 of Moon Bear. I woke up spluttering and coughing, unable to breathe. Sudoku had squirmed onto my face and his muzzled up against my nose. I pushed him off and sat up. It was still dark outside, but the heavy scent of sandwood from the ministries drifted on the early morning air. This was usually my favorite time, when the air was clear of dust and I could watch the stars fade in the dawn sky. But today I had no time to lie and listen to the city wake. I had to feed Bear. I had a bear to feed. I switched on the light and Sudoku squinted at the brightness. He seemed a little stronger than yesterday. He could stand, but when he tried to scamper across the room, he fell. He took the honey tin between his paws and stretched his little pink tongue inside and licked out what he could find. Somehow, I would have to find more food for him today. I would have to wash the dirty towels too, so Miss Stone would probably throw me out if she knew I had a bear was sleeping in here. I could hear Mr. Stone unlock the garage gates, and I waited until I guessed he had returned to the house. I pushed open the door to my room. I could see Cam and his family inside the window of the house with the white neon light. Cam's brother was already near the door. He had been brought out in the yard. I couldn't risk anybody stopping to talk to me. I wrapped Sudoku in a towel and reached for the money I earned from errands for Cam. There wasn't enough left after buying the bot of red cloth for Ma. It couldn't be helped. I'll try and buy some milk today. I tucked Sudoku beneath my arm, raced across the road before the sun had even risen across the rooftops. It was Saturday. Neither Asnag or the doctor came on Saturdays, but I wondered if the doctor might drop in to check on the new cub. I didn't even know where the doctor lived or where he went on the weekends. Mr. and Miss Stone said he came across to Vietnam to see his family, but Cam's brother said that he had a girlfriend across the Friendship Bridge in Thailand. Asnag hardly ever came in to see the bears. He left that to me. He would bring sacks of rice and fruit, but sometimes he would forget, and I would try and ration out the rice until he brought some more. The bears turned as I walked in. They lifted their nose, smelling the new bear curled up against me. Maybe it brought some memories of the forest for them, too. Sudoku squirmed and meowed in my arm. I would have to find milk for him. Cleaning would have to wait. He was too small for Mama Bear's cage, so I decided to keep him with me until I went to buy some milk. I couldn't chance him slipping through the bars. I'd put him in a ratted basket, covered him with a towel, and headed out into the streets. Hi, Tam, I turned. Cam was following me up the road. Where are you going? I kept walking, wrapping my arms around the basket. Sudoku was hiding in the fold of the towel. I didn't want Cam to see. I have to get food for the bears. I said. It was true enough. I meant to buy them some fruit. I'll come, he said. I kept on walking. I'm just fine by myself. Cam jogged to catch up and walked beside me, kicking the dirt. We need to find a way of making money. I thought you were selling stuff at school. Cam tooted. They banned me. A teacher said it wasn't school policy, but I think it's just because he got a flashlight that didn't work. Oh, I said. I kept on pace, striding slightly above him. Is that all you have to say? Oh? I stopped at the junction and looked both ways for traffic. What do you want me to say? Cam trotted across the road with me. Well, how did your family earn money? I could feel Sudoku wiggling inside the basket and heard him sucking on his paws. I'm just hoping he goes back to sleep. I frowned and thought back. Money wasn't something we'd thought about much. We didn't need much, I said. Though Ma sold her embroidery and Pa, I stopped talking. I hadn't spoken of Pa since I left the village. I quickened my pace. It was hard here, walking in the city, fast-paced and slow steps and dodging the people in the traffic, not like the long, easy strides through the forest. Cam trotted to keep up with me. What about your Pa? I just wish Cam would go away. I could feel Sudoku bumping around in the basket, glancing down to see him wiggling free in his basket and his claw and his hand on the edge of the basket. His head was poking out. I slipped into a side street and slid down beside some bins. Cam ducked in behind me. Cam, what are you? His eyes opened wider as he stared at the bear cub. I was trying to push back into the basket. He took a step back. Tam, he said slowly, stringing out my name. Is that the bear? I frowned and tried to cover the cub with the sheets, but he pawed his way out. What are you doing with it? I looked around. Don't tell anyone, I snapped. I swaddled the bear like I'd seen Ma do with my baby sisters. Wrapping the sheet tight around him, tucking his paws against the folds, he couldn't move. I laid him back in the basket and brought the towel over him to hide from his view. Cam was still staring at me. I have to find it some milk, I said. Baby milk. I stuck out inside the alley, but don't know where to find any. I looked back at Cam. He just stood grinning at me. What? I said. Cam laughed and slapped me on the back. You know, Tam, life's been a whole lot more fun since you arrived. Come on, I know where to get you the milk. I followed him along 2 more streets until we were outside of a window of a pharmacy. In here? I said. Cam appeared through the glass window and nodded. I know the shopkeeper. Let me do the talking. I stood inside the pharmacy looking around. Inside, the walls were filled with boxes and bottles and pill pots and lotions. There were even some pots with Bear Farm lingo. I wonder if the doctor sold bear bile here, too. Cam, the lady at the counter greeted Cam with a huge smile. Cam smiled back. How are your parents, Cam? They are very well, thank you, he said. He glanced back at me and frowned. I could feel Sadoki wiggling against the basket. I could hear his claws scraping in the rattan. I hope he wasn't going to get out of the sheets. My friend, said Cam, pointing at me, would like some powdered milk for his baby sister. My eyebrows shot up to my forehead. Sadoki gave a meowing cry, and the shopkeeper launched her eyes onto the basket. His mother is too sick to come, Cam added. Other customers turned to listen. One lady smiled and tried to peer inside the basket. The newskeeper's face softened. She reached up behind and pulled 2 boxes. Newborn or for 6 months plus. I stared at Cam. Newborn, Cam said, nodding at me. I nodded too. Newborn. She held up a feeding bottle. And one of these? No, Cam said. Yes. I said. The shopkeeper looked between us, showing us the total of her cash register. I dug deep inside my pocket and pulled out all the money I had. Cam counted it out. He glanced at me. It's not enough. I looked at him. It's all I have. Cam fished inside of his own pockets. I don't have any either. Sadoki cried out again, a strange, strangled cry. I could see him wiggling from the blanket. A small black paw was free, and the people behind us were looking at the basket. I pulled the towel to cover Sadoki. It's okay. I started backing towards the door. Cam glanced down at the basket. He pulled a sad face. His sister has the sickness too. The shopkeeper put her head to one side and looked at me and then at the basket. Here, lifting the box of milk and the little bottle, stepping around the corner. Take this for your mother. She smiled and peered in the basket. It's catching, Cam said, pushing me out of the door. We better go. Thank you, I called out, but Cam was already marching me down the road back to the bear farm. That was close, he grinned. You lied, I said. To get the milk, you lied. It was a small lie. Cam shrugged his shoulders. Everyone lies, Tam. Anyway, now you have your milk. We walked fast. The basket was heavy in my arms, and I could tell Sadoki's cries were one of hunger. Where did you keep the cub? Asked Cam. Where did he sleep at night? In a cage, I said. He sleeps in a cage next to the bears. Everyone lies, I thought. Even me.